Hello, sponsoring boot camp. It is Fern Weingast, and today I'm going to talk to you about the triangle method for the Ask Me About My Job, or the 8-question, or the Ask Me Anything game, depending on what you play at your parties. Even if you ask the 8-question game, there are still going to be people who want to ask you additional questions. And so here is a triangle method that is going to be helpful when answering these questions. So the triangle method is first you answer what's true for you, then you give a more general answer, and then you ask back a related question. So for example, if somebody says, how many parties do you do a month? And you say, well, I do 14 parties, and you leave it at that. Someone might be scared to death to think about doing 14 parties. They might have 6 kids, work a full-time job, go to school, and everything else. So if someone says, how many parties do you do? And you say 3 parties a month, they might be thinking, well, I would want to do more than that. So no matter what your answer is, it's not necessarily going to be the right answer for that person, because remember, your why is not their why. So if someone says, how many parties do you do a month? An answer like, well, I do 10 parties a month, but there are many people who do this as a hobby and they do 1 to 3 parties a month. There are many people who do this part-time and they might do between 4 to 6 parties a month. And then there are people who do this full-time and they might want to do 8 to 10 parties or possibly even more per month. And so then you can say, if you were to think about doing this business, about how many parties a month do you think you might want to do? Now you've answered this in a 3-part method. You've said what you do, you've said a more general answer, and then you have asked back a question. So for example, if someone says, well, what does your husband think about what you do? Okay, now I don't know, let's say I don't know this person's circumstances, so I could say, well, my husband is a really big supporter and he loves the fact that I do Pure Romance and he cheers me on every step of the way. There are many single moms, though, who do this business without a partner. There are also people in all different kinds of relationships. Maybe they're just cultivating their relationship and they work it in so that they can have a balance. So if you were going to do this business, do you have a partner that you think would be supportive? And you can ask back, or you can say, if you know for a fact that they don't have a partner, say, this is a great way to get yourself out there. What do you think? So you want to answer always in a triangle method. If somebody says, well, how many hours do you work? And if I say I work 30 hours a week, or I work 20 hours a week, or I work 50 hours a week, or I work 10 hours a week, whatever I say, it might not resonate with them. So I could say something like, well, I work about 20 hours a week, but there are many people who do this as a very much of a hobby, and they do maybe, 5 hours a week, or 2 to 5 hours a week. So if you were going to do this business, about how many hours a week do you think would make it worthwhile for you? And so do you see how this triangle method will bring about what you do? So you're answering their question. You're going to bring about what's true for other people, or what you know to be true for other people. And then you're going to ask them back a question in terms of what might be true for them. So it's very important to make sure that you cover all of your bases when you're answering these questions. And I'm going to be back with another video on the Eric Worre Go Pro method when you are prospecting.